Thank you, Collin. Yeah, my name is Chris van Fluit. I'm the pre-sales consultant within NTI, the Netherlands. So I helping my sales people with my demonstration, with my knowledge to get a deal done. Now I will walk you through the new features in the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform, and that's named to Autodesk Forma, of course. In the last year, they add over 400 new features in this platform. So fasten your seatbelts. No, I'm just kidding. I will choose the over 10% of these features. So I have like 40 new features I want to show you. That's our features that I like the most, or I think it's the most important ones, and it's also the little bit the latest features. I will talk you through Autodesk Forma that are based in different modules. So I will start with Autodesk Forma data management. Then we'll go through the design collaboration modules. Then a little bit about Autodesk build, and then Forma takeoff. But first, when we start, we need to talk about the user management because we have some different changes, different new features, more insight in the user management module. This is the list I will talk about. So user management roles, activities about in your home, AutoCAD templates, folder permissions, etc., etc. So first we will start with user management. Now you have a better overview of when people are working on the project, which role. So I go to the hub admin, go to the roles. Now I can see which role have which people. So I choose the members and I can see exactly which members have this specific role in my platform. But goes in, a little bit further, I can also click on my own name and I can see exactly on which project with which role I have on which project. Even the modules I can see in every project. So I have a much better overview of which members are on which project and have which role. And it goes even a little bit further. If you have a role, so for example, you have the ACC manager role or the BIM manager role, maybe this BIM manager role need to add specific persons in your project, but not all the persons. So now you can choose. So the BIM manager role can only add BIM modules, or maybe people from the outside, from the field, or maybe project leaders. They can only add people with this specific role in your project. So they cannot add everybody. They can only add people with a specific role. So now, yeah, it's more handy to work with specific roles. Let's go to the next one. You now have a better overview of your licenses within the platform. So now we have the hub, the NTI Cat Company hub, and within the NTI Cat Company hub, I can see exactly which licenses we have, assigned. So I have like 11 Forma build licenses assigned, and I have 29 licenses left of this specific module. So also this helps you a little bit of your licenses overview. What important is, these are the licenses that are linked to the specific hub. Even if you have the standard administration role, that's a new role. With the standard administration role, you can only do the hub admin features. So these features what you see now. Within this role, you can the people can add people, but also can see the licenses overview now. Something specific for yourself within the My Home dashboard. In the beginning, you have only the activities that are linked to you as a person or as a member. Now you can also see which activities are linked to me as a role or me as a company. I can also click around to see, okay, which activities like issues, RFIs, maybe some approval flows are assigned to me as a role or me as a company. This was not possible in the beginning, but this is, I think, a really good new feature to have a better overview of all your own activities. For the AutoCAD users around us, I saw already some chats in the past sections we have. Sessions we have that we have some AutoCAD users. Now you can store your AutoCAD templates in your hub. So I talk about the NTI CAD Company hub. Now you can add in the library your AutoCAD templates, and in that AutoCAD templates you have like all the layers, yeah, all the things you normally start when you open AutoCAD. Now you can just store them in your hub. That's also, I think, a really good feature for the managers around us. Something about folder permissions. I think this is a feature that is already it's already there for I think a half year, but I see that most of the clients I'm talking to don't know. So I can go to my folder and I can create a dashboard or an Excel list of all the permissions of the folders I have. So I can click on the specific folder I want to see which permissions are there. Or I can say, okay, I want to have all the permissions of all the folders I have in my project. Here, this is assigned with letters. So A is the manager, and so you can see on the left side you have all the folders, and you can see exactly which members, which role, which company have specific permissions of which folder. So I think this is also give you a great overview of all the permissions that are in your platform. Yeah, we spoke about this a lot already today, the AI assistant. The AI assistants are also added in the Autodesk Forma, of course. So I will go. I have some specific questions you can add in this platform. So some of the questions could be like, where is the latest drawings of building section A, for example? So they give you exactly the answer you are searching for. Or maybe you can ask which of the open issues have high priority. So you can get an overview of all the issues that are assigned with a high priority. So they don't need to search for it. Or maybe some specification about floors. Well, which specification have the floors? Give me the answer. You don't need to search for it. You can just ask your AI assistant. Or maybe you don't know how to create an issue or how to create an RFI or how to create an approval flow. You can just ask the AI assistant, and he gives you a step-by-step overview how to create it, how to use with it, how to work with it. Or if you work with meeting minutes, so you can just ask, okay, maybe you missed the meeting minutes. Give me a summary of the latest meeting minutes I made. Maybe you missed something, so you don't need to read the whole meeting minutes back. You can just get the most important summary. It goes even further, so you can also ask not on specific information. You can also ask, what is the health of my project at the moment? So you can just ask them, show me the project health, and he gives you the answers quite directly, but also the risk level. So he gives you an overview of all the open change orders, all the open issues, all the open approval flows, just in one, I think, 10 seconds. So you don't need to search for it. But then also, I think this is a great new opportunity to have a better understanding of your project. The last update I want to share about the user management is to create a handover. In the beginning, if you create a handover, it was just based on folders and documents. So if you have a client that asks for folders and documents, it's fine. But in your platform, you also have not only folders and documents, there are all more activities based there. So all the issues, maybe some RFIs, maybe some forms that are closed. Now you can create a set of information, also, of course, with documents and folders, but also with all the activities of the issues, of the forms, all the RFIs. You can even select that you want to have all the forms, for example, but only the closed forms, or all the submittals, or only the closed submittals. So you can also get a selection for that. And with the latest update, you can also add the assets. I think it's something we mention a lot these sessions. Assets are really, really important to work like data-driven and not document-driven. So you can add them in your handover. So that was about the user management model. Now we start with the most important model. I think that's Forma data management. It's the basis where you store all the documents. So what's new in there? I think the most cool feature I want to introduce is the Forma board. Forma board is a collaboration board, such as Miro or Mural or maybe Microsoft Teams whiteboard. Maybe you already work with it. Now everybody with the lowest licenses, I think Collin will mention something in the end, but with every license in the Forma data management of Autodesk Forma, you can work with this board to work together on the same time and add documents, live documents from your Forma data management, such as views, sheets, or AutoCAD drawings. You can just add them in your board. I will show you some examples later. You can even add information from Forma site design, so from maybe some analytics, and you can get notes, sticky notes, or comments directly on this information. With a cool new feature, you can also create an AI a rendering. I will show you right now. But this is the new Forma board. So you can work together, you see each other live, you can add information like Revit or AutoCAD information directly in the board and you can get comments on it. You work together, it's a collaboration board. But because it's live data, you can even edit your AutoCAD drawings, for example. So you can add an AutoCAD drawing and even edit it if you have the permissions, of course, on that folder. So I think it's really cool and cool new feature. I give you also some examples of my AI. I was playing around last week. So I add a Civil 3D file, WG file, in my Forma board, and I ask my Forma board create an AI render of this specific DWG. And it was like 10 seconds. I create a prompt, and he gave me this this beautiful picture. Not only like this, but maybe you want to have you have it like from a top view. Just create a new view on the specific style, and you can add them directly in your Forma board to give a better presentation or better overview of your drawing. You can also make it a little bit more specific. So I have some top-down view of some specific apartments, and here, or maybe an example like this, created in phases. So concept phase, more detailed and even more detailed directly in your Forma board to give it a better presentation, and you can you can add sticky notes on it. Even you can create the visibility of the concept and the AI render, so you can you can add some transparency in the Forma board in like this. I think really cool feature. Okay, that was the Forma board. Let's go to the viewer. I think half a year ago, they add a new viewer. It was in beta, but now it's the default and it goes like 10 times faster. And last month they told me it's even faster than then. So they they speed it up. So they improve the performance of the viewer. They also add advanced filters. The measurement tools are more expand, and also they add colors based on data. I will show you. So this is the viewer. It's really, really fast. You can just walking around in the viewer, and now you can add really advanced filters. Normally you have like specific filters on the top, but now you can add like an advanced filters. The Revit users around us, I think, know this advanced filters already from Revit, but you can now also add them directly in your viewer from Forma data management. So for example, I want to have the fire permissions that have this specific name, or bigger than, or smaller than, or in between some data, and you can also add filters on filter on filter on filter to have a good overview of your project. Also, the measurement tools are expand, so the snack points are more frequently. Like they snack much better now. Sometimes you click not exactly on the right spot, so they improve it. Also, the X, Y, and Z locations you can add directly in your project. And now you have a cool laser to have like an Z, and a Z and Y directly in your model. So you can just click around on the facade, and you just add this measurement. The next thing I want to show you is the coloring. So the people that work with Model Coordinate already maybe know these colors, but it's also possible to add these colors in Forma data management. So you can set a specific parameter on the right side and you say for now, for example, the fire rating. So I want to coloring my object based on the fire rating data. So now it gives me an overview of which walls have like 120. I can also select them by clicking on it. And also maybe from 60 minutes, I can just select them and I can just, walk around. I can also isolate them, so I can focus on them or isolate them to have this specific view in my in this viewer. So now you can see all my 60 minutes fire rating walls. And maybe this view was really important for me because you collaborate with some stakeholders, you can collaborate maybe internally with some members, and this view was really important. So you don't want to filter it, that I show you some advanced filters, but you don't want to color it all the time one by one. Now it's possible to save this specific view for all your colleagues, maybe some stakeholders directly in the viewer. So I create this view based on my fire rating. I can give them a name, so walls 60 minutes, because also my colleague need to see this specific wall and give them a tag. So I can also select tags to see this views. I can work with more views and I can save them. It's saved in this specific model. So if I close my browser, open the model again, and I can also just click on my my views. Now I can make some sections. Maybe I want to change a little bit the colors, maybe based on categories, for example. So you can see it's really dynamic. I can just go through some specific points. So for example, this is the canteen, and I can also isolate some of the objects I want. So maybe maybe I don't want to see the ceiling or some specific walls or maybe the windows. I can even isolate them. And also that kind of selections you can save in the specific fields and he will remember it. So you don't need to isolate or hide all the objects again and again and again. Because for some people in your company, it's not that easy to work with filters, to work with colorings, and then you can just save them and help them around. They just need to click on the left side to the specific view. So you can go around, click everything away, and now I can just selecting the views, and he will just open it by the view I created, even with the sections, even with hiding the objects, etc., etc. I think it's really cool, and I think maybe a really important feature to collaborate with your colleagues. Also something about attributes. We are going from a document-based platform to a data-based platform, and not only the data within my model, but also the data that are labeled on your documents. Now you can get the attributes required. Attributes are metadata that can be added in on your documents, and you can also create automations from that metadata. You can also sync them with the bridge. I will show you in a filter, and there's something that's coming that is in beta. You can also create smart controls based on metadata. So you can say, okay, this document, everybody can see this document, but this document has a specific project phase. And then if it goes to a specific project phase, then the documents will be visible for your colleague. So the permissions are not on folders anymore. The permissions will be on attributes or both. You can work also with both. That's some beta that is now started. So for example, I can create some required fields in this folder. So for example, I can select the revision or maybe the project phase. That is an important attribute, important metadata for me. And now you can make it required. So if I add a document in this folder, you will ask for this metadata. But I work together with another project. So that was the one is for the architect. This is the structural part. Also in this project, they have metadata, but they create an automation. They say, okay, I will create an approval flow if the metadata of the project phase is DO. It's a definition phase. That's not in the project that will be create the documents. This is the project they get the documents. So on the left side, I have the architect. On the right side, I have the structural guy, and I will add a document for the architect. So I try to select it. Ooh. Try to do it again. I select a PDF, and he asked me for the specific required attribute. So project phase is VO number 2, and the revision was number 2. On the right side, you will see from the bridge, he automatically upload this file to another project fully automatically. And you can now see, maybe if I hit a refresh on the right side, he will also be added in the structural project. So this will also help you to collaborate together. You can see I add him on the left side in project from the architect, for example, and he will automatically upload it as well for the structural. On the left side, I have some required attributes, so the revision and the project phase. But even now, the labels, the metadata will automatically upload also with the bridge or in the other projects. So the VO is also the VO on the right side. So now if I change it, so I don't change the document, so not a new version. I don't change the document. I change it to number 3. It automatically changes it to number 3 also in another project. But there I have an automation because maybe someone need to approve this document when it is number 3, number DO. So now it automatically starts. So you can create some automations between the architect and the structural or maybe other stakeholders, of course. Also from issues, if you work together, you create issues to make tasks. Also, there is some new cool features are added. The most important one, I think, for me is the first one is maybe I create an issue for a bedroom, but it was not only for this bedroom, but was also for all the bedrooms, maybe the 4 on the back. I see up there. In the beginning, I need to create issue by issue by issue by issue. Now I can just select some fields I need to require, and I can just duplicate the issue I just created. So I can also duplicate by duplicate by duplicate. So I don't need to create issue and fill in all the fields by hand anymore. But it goes even further. So I've changed a little bit the title so I know which issue or which task is which. So this helped me a lot to create multiple issues. It goes a little bit further. Maybe I want to make it more clear what happens with this specific issue. Maybe on the right side, I just want to create a markup, but this markup is only related to this specific issue. So I click on the issue, I say markup, and I can add markups that are only visible for this specific issue. So I missed something in the corner, create a markup, and if I click and done, you will see all the 4 issues again, but the markups are gone. He saved it also as a thumbnail. So if someone work in another application, you can also see the thumbnails, but the markups are gone. But if I click on the issue again, the markups pops up that are only related to the specific issue. I think also a really strong feature that you don't have a lot of markups in your screen. Just have the markups that are related to a specific issue. It goes even a little bit further. If you create a markup in your PDF or in your Revit file, and you create a new version, and in the past, you can still edit the markups you had created in the older versions. Now you can say, I don't want it anymore. If we create a new version in my Forma document, the markups are frozen. You cannot change it anymore. Or if you work with permission flow, with the approval flow, now you can just sign on that if the document is approved, then you don't want that the markups are changeable anymore. So they will freeze it in your documents. I think it's also really an important feature also to work with the ISO 9650 to work together. I already mentioned it with the attributes that we work with the bridge. The bridge is a way to collaborate between different projects from different hubs. Now it's possible if you share documents with another project, you just in the beginning, you need to do it one by one. So if you did it, and if you work together with more stakeholders, maybe you want to reshare to another project. Now you can just select by this, enable the selections to say, okay, I don't want to share it with this project, but I also want to share it with different project, just in one time. Also, the good thing is you can create an as-built package and share it with different regions. So if you work together with US or AU, it's not possible to share documents between different hubs from different regions. With the as-built, it's possible. It's creating a zip file and you can just store it in another region. You can even share documents by a package. I saw already some examples today. If you create a package with different documents, now you can also get it in you can also share it by a bridge. Now, also an important feature is the auto sync that includes also subfolders. In the beginning, if you have like a top folder with different subfolders and you want to create a sync from another project to another project, you need to do it by folder every time, by folder. Now you can just say, I do not want to include only my top folder. I also want to bridge also the subfolders. It's just one handling. And you get a message when you share something. That's also something that is I want to mention. Now let's go to the approval flow. The approval flow, normally if you are the initiator, so if you start the approval flow, you need to say to which folder you want to copy the documents. Now you can do it also by the approval. You can still change the location, the target location where documents need to be transferred. So you can do it not only the initiator now can to select the folder, you can also do the approval now can select the folder. What you can do more with the approval flow, so sometimes you create an approval flow, but that's based on some information in the platform, based on some RFI, some issues, some assets, some specification. Now you can make a reference to the specific information within the platform. I think that's also really a strong feature to have connected data. The other thing is you can also rename the approval flow. Sometimes it's the same name again and again and again. And now you can also say, okay, I don't want to have this name. I want to change it. Even if the approval flow is closed, you can still change it. Specification, what's already added, I think 1 year ago. But in the past, it was based on some medics from America. So if you add a document, a PDF, for example, they need to get the information of the PDF. So they need to get the codes and to create different sections of the documents. In Europe, this was not possible. So it was more based on the American methods. But now they did a lot of improvement for this, so they can now understand, even if you have your own codes, to see, okay, these are my sections in this specification, and he automatically created sections now also with the European codes. And if you have the specification, it's now it gives you a better overview of which specifications have which categories, so they improve the overview. The other thing is, if you already create a specification with specification line, if it was created, you cannot delete it. It's just a little bit strange, but now you can also delete the specification line in your specification. You can work with the compare function, so you can see here. You can see here the functions with the versions of the specification. Now you can compare this. And the good thing is you can also create now automatically a submittal. So if you need information in a submittal that need to be based on a specification, now you can select multiple lines and create automatically a submittal based on the specification. I think also really cool, strong, good feature. That's it for the Forma data management part. So let's jump to Forma model management. Forma model management is the module to create an overview of collaboration of all the 3D models, coordinate it, and get insights and clash it. There are many improvements of this module in the last 2 months. The first one is they improve the coordination space. So you select a folder where the models are based, so the 3D models or the AutoCAD models are based. Now you can just select on the specific folders on which file types they need to collect. So if you work with IFC, for example, and if you link an IFC in your Revit model, I see that a lot. They automatically create an Revit.ifc file. If you don't select this specific document types, you will get the model then 2 times, and you don't want that. Now you can say, okay, for this folder, I only want to have IFC. On this folder, I only want to have the RFIs. On this folder, I only want to have the DWG files. You can also say, I just want to have my own files or all the files. So I think you have more specification in the space settings. I think a good improvement. The other thing is you can create class groups. In the past, if you have if you select several models, so for example, the architect, the MEP, and the structural model, you put them together and it is one for all for one. They class everything and they also group it by everything. But maybe for this example, you don't want to group it one by one or all by all. So I select the MEP model, I select the structural model, and you can see I have now 1260 class groups. That are a lot. So I don't have a good overview of my clashes. Now you can just select how do you want to categorize your groups. So for example, maybe you want to have it by level, for example. So I can select the level, and I can also select here, I want to have it also by some data field, so type name. So I want to group it by level and then type name. Now on the back, you can also get to sort them, and you can see also the example how they will create the groups. So I had 1270 groups, and now I just have 97 class groups to give me a better overview of the clashes. I can also add a tolerance with it, and I can also select maybe one of the class groups from the ceiling, the ceiling first, maybe with some ventilation units. You can see here, this is my class group. And I can also create really easy. This is a class, or this is not a class. So I can also really easy to create an issue with it with this. So this gives me more better overview of my class groups. So you can also save this class group for later. You can save it for yourself, or you can also save them for your colleagues if they also want to work with the same class groups. What I mentioned already sometimes is they start to work from document-based platform to a more data-based platform. In Model Coordinate, you already can create an inventory of all the objects that are based in the model. Now you can also change the parameters in model management. These parameters will also sync back to Revit. You can even add your own specific parameters. So you collect the objects and you can add more data in the object. So your own data, you can add them. You can do it in your inventory, but you can also do it by selection. First, you create a selection, and then you can add more information to the object. So for example, maybe you want to see if the objects are ordered or already installed or etc., etc. So now you can see that Autodesk is starting to go from a document to a data-driven platform to add more data to your platform. Not only add it from manually, you can also add it from other applications by using the data API. So then you have an overview of the data that are in your IFC or Revit file. You have, so that's the geometric data. You can add non-geometric data. You can get data from the asset, or you can add some other inside data, let's say for sustainability. These data are not only stored in model management bundle, it will also get back to Revit. So on the left side, you have an overview of the Revit data, what you can change in model management. You have the data from model management. That's our extra data fields you can add. And you can also add data from other applications. Let's say your RP system or the FM system, what Kenneth was mentioning. If you add data, you can also filter on it. So now it's possible to create a search set in model management. So if the data is added, you can select it. So now on the left side, you have the possibility to create your own search set by select them. So you can just work with the search sets to select, for example, the floors or maybe the windows, for example, to make it really easy to select some specific objects in your model. You can save this search set and you can also share them with other projects. They also work together with other models. So for example, here you have that advanced filters I mentioned before. So you don't need to do this one by one. You can just work here with search set. I only want to see my ducts with, for example, the floors. So the search sets already, you can also save them by in your project and also share them with other projects. I only see the ducts and my floors, but it goes even a little bit further. Now, if I select my clashes, I only get the clash that are based on the clash groups I just created with only the objects I just add in my search sets. I only see the clashes that are based for my ducts and my floors. It also will help me to get a better and better overview of all the clashes. And now we can see that they add more functionality that was normally based in Navisworks. They will add it in this platform. If you work with Navisworks, of course, that Navisworks is a great tool to get all the information, all the coordination, all the information you needed. In the past, if you create an issue and if you open that issue in the model management, all the objects are gray. So now you can also see here in red and green the same view as you have in the Navisworks. So you can still work in Navisworks, and you can just open the issues and have this, the same overview what you have in Navisworks. You also have a class dashboard. It's a beta, so it's not released yet. But on the left side, you have a list of specific views, specific class groups. And also here you can see all the clashes, all the issues that are related, what are not issues. So sometimes you already click on this is not an issue for me. You can also see which was not an issue, what the tolerance are, and if it is for yourself or for the whole company. So also the class dashboards are yeah, much better. This is beta, it's not released yet. That was the collaboration. Maybe you also want to know what is the health of my cloud models. So maybe you want to know maybe the cloud models are a little bit slow. Maybe you want to know how much families are in your model. So you want to have an understanding what's happening in my cloud models. Now with this new feature, from inside, you can select model analyze, and you can see the sync time, you can see the links, you can see the health of your cloud models. So you have an overview here on the right side of all the cloud models, and you can see exactly what the health is from that specific model. So this one get a 7.3, but if I select another one, they will get maybe lower or higher a score. So they get a 4.3. So why it is a 4.3? So this one needs some attention. So there are maybe some images, maybe there's a lot of families are included in this model. Maybe these families are getting from the content catalog or not. So you can also go to your colleagues. So why do you not get it from the content catalog? You see, you added a lot of families that are downloaded from internet. So you have yeah, a better understanding of all the cloud models, why it is slow, why it is so big, for example. So I think this is also a great new feature. That was it for the model management. Let's go to Forma build. The Forma build app is also improved. Now you can create sections to add really fast some specific forms, some really fast to create an issue, for example, create a fast RFI, for example, or yeah, you can create, I think, almost 12 of these buttons in your home menu in your thing. So that helps you a lot to, for example, create a really fast. You see something, some safety issue, you can just click on it, and you can create a really fast issue in the model. Even for an RFI, it's also possible to create a really fast RFI in the mobile app. And then it happens a lot that you create an issue, someone can find it, or what kind of reason they have. Now you can say, okay, this specific issue, I want to share it in my email. I want to share it by SMS or by WhatsApp, for example, and they will get a link to the specific issue. There's also, I think, also a really good new feature that I'll added. So you can share activities based in the app with additional software. Also, the photo management is really improved. You could now create folders, so you can have a better overview of which photos are based on which categories, for example. So you can create specific folders for that. But the good thing is you can also add permissions on the folder. So if, for example, if you have for example, all the passports of all the people that work on the site. You don't want that everybody can see the passport photos, for example. Now you can say, okay, this photo is really important. Only the manager can see this photo, for example. So you can add specific permissions on folders. So in the beginning, it was like one big group of photos. You can also filter on it, but now you can get permissions on the folder. You can also download, delete, and move it by bulk. I think it's also an improvement to normally if you make some mistakes, you need to delete it one by one. Now you can say just select multiple and bulk delete it. This only works for new Forma build projects. This is not for your old ones, but only for the new ones. I'll talk about permissions for the photos. Also, the permissions for the correspondence is improved. Now you can say, okay, I have an email, but this email, I don't want that everybody can see this email. This email is just for the BIM managers, for example. So you can create permissions based on some specific a role, company, or people that they can only see their own correspondence that they need to see. I think that's also a good improvement. There is also improvement of the forms. If you delete a form, it was gone, and now you can the manager now can recover and delete the form. I think it's also an important feature. The ones that creating a lot of forms at the moment, they know that you can create sections and you can assign sections to some specific roles. Now you can say, okay, this form need to sort or need to need to be in a curtain order, need to fill in a curtain order. First this one, then this section, then this one, and then this one. So maybe it's important to get information from another section. Now you can say, okay, this needs to be the required order. The other thing is, I will show you later, is you can add tables in your forms, and also the Forma data exchangement is it's much better to have a better overview of reporting or Power BI, or even create forms with the Form API. That is also really improved. This is an example of the form table. So this is what the people see. They need to fill in some specific fields, and they will get an output of a table. So this also will improve your forms. So it's also some improvements of the planning. I do not know how much time I have left.
Just a few minutes, Chris.
Okay. So I will jump over this one. You can log tasks. So if you make a commitment with with your colleagues, okay, this task need to be done at this time. We make some commitments, and then you can log it. So I think this is also a good feature. You can import it by Excel. The guys that work with submittals, now it's possible to add additional fields in the submittal. I think it's also good improvements. You can create more dashboards. So if you work with the assigned inside dashboard features or inside builder features, you can add this specific dashboard directly to Autodesk Build. So now you can add this inside builder dashboard to the people that work with Autodesk Build, so they have the same overview, dynamic overview. The last one with takeoff, the most important one is you can get a better understanding of your takeoffs, and now you can get this takeoff to an estimation. So if you create budget or you want to estimate all the quantification you get from your takeoff module, now you can automatically create a budget that are based on the quantities you get. So maybe some material cost, some labor cost, some equipment cost. You can just add all the costs that based on the quantification you had from takeoff. This is a model that's now it's coming. So that's it, Collin.
Yeah, and it's a lot. Hey, you were speeding up, although you just had, it was 40 of the 400 updates of last year. So I know you're enthusiastic. You want to tell everything, but yeah, even those 40 to 50 minutes are too short for these features. So especially thank you, Chris, for showing us, for bringing this knowledge, all the new features up to our attendees. So thank you. And with this, I want to almost wrap up, but Chris was telling about the 400 updates, and he was sharing a little bit of the knowledge I still needed to add. Yeah, Chris went through all the different kind of modules we took, and yeah, it's all called Forma these days. But collaboration will be more easy, not really the right word for it, but now you see a lot of construction manufacturing coming together, at least a little bit of my vision in this. Because Autodesk Forma is going to be widely available. Since it's now Forma, there's also something that's called Forma Data Management Essentials. It's something that's included in every AutoCAD, Revit, Civil 3D, and all PDM. So for the industry manufacturers, they already have this available as well. So I will see a future where also the industry, the manufacturing industry, will use more and more Forma, and you're going to collaborate on that one. So it's not Forma data management as we all know it, like in the AC collection, or if you have a build license. No, this is an essential version with limited amount of functionality. Here, just a quick overview of the comparison. So Forma data management, a lot of things really workflow related, data related, but that Forma data management essential that's widely available for almost everybody has that functionality. At least you can store your data. You have the permission-based access, you have version control. So I think for everybody now, this is already available. One thing what Ben was already saying this morning, so for those who weren't there with the presentation of Autodesk, also there's a new essentials, the build essentials. Also for this one, it's an easy step in for maybe the smaller companies, maybe the subcontractors to not have the full potential of what we call Forma build, but only the essentials. So your home, your sheets, your issues, your forms, and your photos that you want to use. So this is great functionality that makes it hopefully an easier step to collaborate together. And here's also the comparison. Build Essentials is a smaller version of the very extensively in functionality of the very extensively Forma build and the construction bundle that are available. Just reach out to your NTI, how do you call it? NTI employee, one of my co-workers at least. They have the knowledge, they can give you the right advice. What is your next step? What did you need to do?